there, everybody. It's Noelle with your weekday LOVEfluencer training. So excited to see you guys here. I am actually broadcasting on Instagram Live. It's like, what is it, Inception? But I'm on Instagram right now as well. But it's the only platform I cannot go live with on Restream. So Restream at IGTV. That would be awesome. But in the meantime, tonight is, I'm a little bit late because I had this fantastic and fun conversation with the CMO Asia podcast, or Asia CMO for Chief Marketing Officer. What a fun talk. We talked about artificial intelligence. I mean, basically, I was a LOVEfluencer in action. I was talking about mindfulness combined with my tech side of the business, my full authentic self showing up on these podcasts. And I think one of the things I wanted to share with you guys today is all about content ideas and thinking about what could you write about, what could you do. Thank you so much for coming. Thank you for joining me. I'm going to open up my chat and see, hey, wow, so great. Oh, a major echo. Oh, goodness. Okay, hold on. Let me think. Let's see. Hold that thought. I will figure that out. Maybe it is, oh, you know why? Because I changed my speaker. All right, let's try that. Oh, and now I changed it again. Can you hear me now? Or did I just change it? What about now? Wow, can you hear me? Can you? Oh, I hit mute. All right, it's back. Let's try it again. I will go back. Oh, this is speakers. Oh, hi, great to see you. Okay, I'm going to go back to default. Let's hope. I think more than white. Yes, I know. Or maybe, oh, no. Oh, maybe this mic is on. All right, hold on. This always happens. All of my wonderfully amazing fans, you all know that I go in and out through different technologies. This is my first time on Restream. So, hey, Javier from Colombia, my friend. How are you? So good to see you all. Okay, is that better? No, it's still echo. All right, hold on. Input default. All right, I'm going to change it. Let's see. All right, give me some feedback. What do you think? Is it better? I'm waiting for you. I hope it's better. Echo cancellation is on. Maybe I should turn that off. Because it says echo cancellation, but it's obviously echoing. Okay. Anyone? Are we good? Shall we continue? Hey there. Good to see you. Oh, I love you guys. Thanks for watching me. You guys are great. All right. I'm hoping that my echo is gone. If not, just send me a note and I'll keep messing around with it. I might also not want to speak so close to the mic. That's also probably a problem. All right, Instagram Live, people, come join me over on the other platforms that I am going live on. LinkedIn, YouTube, Twitch, goodness, you name it. Come join me. I'm going to turn this off in case it's causing some weird problems. So, okay, talk to y'all later. Love you. Bye. Okay, end. All right, my Instagram TV is now off. Oh, it's fixed. All right, awesome. Oh, darn, and I just hung up on Instagram. Oh, well, that's okay. We're ready to go. Okay, great. Thank you so much for chiming in. I really appreciate you all so much. Now that we know, good news, comments are working. So we've got this dynamic. I will talk to you about today. I'm going to talk about content ideas and how, oh, I forgot to put a title on this when I launched. Anyway, we're going to talk about content ideas as well as the concept of frameworks. So I won't take too long because it's already 10 o'clock. This will be available on replay. So if you are catching this later, thanks so much for tuning in. Let's go ahead and get started. So for those of you who don't know, you can see, oh, a little heart over here. LOVEfluencers is an idea that was born out of kind of concern that everywhere I looked, I saw people kind of in a traditional sales cycle, right? Building a sales funnel and getting on and being like, but wait, there's more, and adding like offers. And I just didn't see a lot of real people being real about and authentic about their lives, about their journeys, about why it is they do what they do and why that matters to me. And so my hope is that I will give you the tools and techniques you can use to be authentically you, like that you can bring your authentic self to your business, if you're an entrepreneur, to your company, if you're an employee, to your family, to your friends, right? Just vehicles for sharing what you care about with the world. So LOVEfluencers is all about creating basically social media influencers that are really, again, I didn't do anything. Social media influencers that are, all right, hold on. That is not my fault, just so you know. Hold on, let me see. But social media influence that is not like the classic Instagram colored thing. I want to build different type of influencers that are empathetic and kind. All right, I'm going into my audio settings one more time to see if I can fix it. You know, this is what happens when you try a new platform. I don't know if some of you follow, there was a couple different influencers over the last few weeks that have been testing out these platforms. So I'm going to check. I'm going to go here. Let's hope this will. Hello. Testing. 1, 2, 3. Hi, Kim. What's up? Hey, Kim, can you hear me? Is there an echo? Is it weird? Hope it's not echoing. Yeah, it's weird. I should probably get one of those headsets. You know, people do that to hear themselves. Hopefully it's better now. Okay. Let's do this. I'm going to keep talking. You guys let me know if you hear anything strange or echoey. I definitely don't have more than, oh, I can see you, Dale. So you're good. So this is great. Thanks, Dale, for tuning in. You can chat away. I can see you. This is the best place. YouTube is fine. LinkedIn, they all centralize. So for you LOVEfluencers out there that want to get on different platforms like me simultaneously, I test out new tools all the time. Right now, I am on Restream.io. I'm liking it, minus this echo challenge that I have. Yeah, the problem is I haven't changed anything and it keeps getting better and worse. So I don't know. I'll just think good thoughts for me. But Restream allows me to be on 5 platforms simultaneously. But what I love about it is that it has a chat feature that consolidates the chats from all those platforms to one place. I will show it to you actually when I share my screen and show you a little bit about the content that I'm talking about. But wow, it is amazing and I love it. So thanks for joining, Dale. So awesome. Nice to have all of you here. Okay, so first things first, we started off this journey about 2 months ago, I guess, in October. So October, I guess, no, almost, I guess a month. Wow, seems like longer. But we started off this journey talking about the importance of mindset. And hi, Ramona. Thank you for sharing. Yeah, hopefully it'll catch up. If not, the replay should definitely be in sync. So, yeah, live streams are always finicky depending on your connection, my connection. But the live stream should be great. So, thank you. So glad you're here, though, Ramona. And great to see you joining the chat. So, one thing that I always find that people struggle with is what to even say. So, we're going to talk about that today. But we started off the conversation and we started off this training with mindset and how important it was to have the right mindset going into building your own brand because your mindset is part of your brand. And having a growth mindset, having a mindset that's willing to fail openly, like I do on these platforms, is kind of part of the journey. Here's the sad but good news. I think it's good. In order to get to awesome, you have to pass through kind of awful, right? So everything I've ever done in my life, I passed through bad in order to get to better. And so I think that's one of the mindset traits or characteristics that I want to most embrace is that it's okay to be bad at something as long as you set the intention, do the work, and are consistent with your practice so that you start to see results and you start to get better at it. So I will tell you that, you know, it's just like I have, of course, 4 children, as most of you know, and my youngest is 3, but not so long ago, she was learning to walk. And I remember when she first started, she was bad at it. Many of us who have children, like she fell and got one of those horrible goose eggs on her forehead, like gigantic knot. Um, and so really bad at walking, but she kept doing it. She kept going, and she's obviously great at it now. She can run now. She can jump. She can skip steps. Like it's incredible. But she had to go through that stage of falling down, bumping her head, realizing like, wow, my balance isn't great, and just continue working at it. So channel your inner 2 year old or 1 year old or however old you were when you started to walk. Channel that person and channel that energy and know that everything I'm about to say, the first and most important step is starting and then continuing to put one foot in front of the next until you're awesome at the thing that you're trying to do. Oops, I'm just going to scroll really quick. Oh, no problem, Dale. Thank you. So the cool thing about that process, or the good news is, and I say this kind of jokingly, is that when you start to build content, whether it's on your blog, which we've talked about building a blog, whether it's on your podcast, whether it's on an Alexa skill that you've built, whether it is in your video channel, no matter what, when you first start, no one's watching, no one's listening, no one's coming to your page. Maybe your mom, maybe me, because I support you and love you and think you're amazing. But in general, like there's not a bunch of traffic coming to a brand new site you just built. And so you have this moment where you can build content, you can publish it, you can go through all the anxiety of doing that, knowing no one is actually paying attention to you. And even now, like I have a pretty decent sized audience. I've built up a network of people who said, I'm willing to hear what you have to say. But even then, I only average probably 100, 200 people in a live session. That's not nearly the tens of thousands of people that are in my network, right? And those 100 or 200, I've actually met most of you, or at least talked to most of you. So, um, so I feel like I just want to encourage you that as you start building content and releasing it into the world, not many people are looking. So just do it with some confidence. Know that the only person really who cares about it a lot is going to be you. And so there is some comfort in knowing that even if you are going to be bad at first, you don't have a bunch of people coming and watching and like being like, oh my gosh, how could you do such a thing? Um, and then you have time to get better, time to hone your voice, time to, right, create it. I've seen people post their blog statistics, and in a 3 year period, it would show like kind of a flat line around 50 people looking. And then all of a sudden, around year three, whoosh, it takes off, or year two, or year 6 months. For me, I on TikTok, I was doing videos, 3 or 4 videos a day on TikTok for months, and I didn't get over like 50 people looking at it. And that's basically just my friends. But then all of a sudden, because I was consistent in my delivery, the algorithm started to know me and my content. I got a viral video. Then I got another one. And then I got another one. So, but by then I was ready. I was ready to know what I wanted to go viral, what I wanted a lot of people to see. And I used all those other videos to just hone my voice. So that's a big thing that I want to encourage. So let's talk about content. There are 3 different mechanisms that I create for my customers and for that I talk about helping you create, which is a channel for the word, right? Writing, meaning your blog. There's a channel for speaking, which might be your podcast. And then there's a different channel for video, which might be a TikTok channel or a YouTube channel. Last week I talked about YouTube, or maybe it was the week before last. But one thing I always want to encourage you is YouTube is an incredibly valuable place. What's up, Derek? YouTube is incredibly valuable. So, and the reason I say that is because everything on YouTube gets cataloged by Google and made available in a Google search result, which is gold. Maybe not at first, right? Because you're still honing your voice. But when you're ready, and I would say even from the very beginning, I did a video that I literally did for myself because I struggled to solve a problem. It was building a sales funnel, struggled to solve a problem. I solved it. I created a video and I stuck it up there with, I never looked at it again. I go into that channel, which I've never posted anything else to. Go into that channel, one video, and it's got like, again, for doing nothing, it's got like 1,200 views. There were like 50 different comments. Everyone's like, oh my gosh, this was life saving. Thank you so much for building it. It was so inspiring to see. But the important thing is like when I built it, I didn't build it for them. I actually built it for me. I built it to help give me practice building content, but more importantly, to save the idea that I just figured out. So I feel like a lot of content generation is really documenting the good ideas that you have, documenting the struggle that you had, and turning it into a good idea. So many different ways. But yes, it's so cool to see all of my friends hanging out here with me on all the platforms. And I love Restream that it puts all these comments into one place. So thank you guys so much. All right, so that's the first thing is that I will tell you. Oh, I didn't bring it. So I have a moleskin notebook. You guys have seen it before. I've held it up and shown it to you. If you're new to the broadcast, you'll see it in the future. But I have a section of my bullet journal that's called story inventory. And what I try to do every day is just think about things that have happened to me. And I go way back, like when I was 6, when I was 10, when I was 16, any birthdays I can remember, any, sad moments, breakups, anything. Like just curating in my mind as many stories as I can and then writing them down. And the benefit to this is that it's funny, even though at that time and even over time, I've never seen a connection with these stories. But the longer you're alive, the more you go back and you're like, I see what my life was trying to teach me there. I didn't learn it when I was 16 or 18 or 25 or 32, but I know now, right? And so when you start to catalog all of the things that have happened and all the stories in your life, you really start to see patterns. Granted, I'm data driven. You start to see patterns, but more importantly, those stories, especially the stories of you as a kid, stories of you as a teenager, as a young adult, everyone relates to those stories. Everyone relates to the first job. Everyone relates to an interview gone bad. Everyone relates to a birthday that nobody remembered. Or maybe that's just me. But I have a twin. So actually, my odds were increased dramatically because I had a twin. And therefore, forgetting two kids' birthdays is highly unlikely. But you know what I'm saying, right? Like these stories end up being vehicles for teaching. I mean, it's basically if you're someone who like reads or has read the Bible, right? It's full of parables. That's all. Like that was the main way that the New Testament was taught was all through parable and story. And the funny thing is we don't think we're good storytellers. And then when you start this exercise of jotting them down, you realize you don't actually have to like practice or hone your skill. You literally can just recall from memory what happened to you, and just the practice of saying that memory out loud improves your ability to tell a good story. So that's the first thing. Create a story inventory, document it in a journal. If you are not a pen to paper kind of person, do it in a website. Oh, that brings me to my very first suggestion. Let's go. I'm going to share my screen. Hopefully. There we go. I'm going to share my screen and head on over to a tool that I use. It's called WorkFlowy. Do not judge me. It is not my name, but WorkFlowy. And WorkFlowy is basically just an outlining tool, but it is what I use to keep track of all of my ideas. For some of you who are like me, we get ideas all the time. This gives me a place to jot them down and organize them. So I'm just going to log in, hopefully, and you can kind of see things that I have in progress. So I'm right now in a section. I created a new account for all my books. So this is my new LOVEfluencer book. It's actually almost done. But these were all the sections, right? And these are the same sections I talked about in our videos. But the nice thing about WorkFlowy is I can zip things up, right? So all my books, let me go here, I'll go home. All of my books, like these are all the book ideas that I have. And as I think through those book ideas, I can break them out into subchapters. Now, guess what ends up happening, right? So here I've got mindset mastery. I hope you guys can see this. Yeah, I'm thinking you can. Mindset mastery, knowing your strengths, what is authentic branding, how to do it in a blog, how to do it with your voice. And literally, when you think through this, you just like jot down your ideas. And this was solving a problem that I had, which was I wanted to brand myself so I could get a better job. So I started thinking, what are the characteristics? What are the ways and the vehicles that I used in order to make myself more known to recruiters, to businesses, to podcasts, hosts. And this was the steps that I took. So this could be anything. Like, let's say you just think about something, some goal you achieved, and then try to work backwards from that goal to the day you had the audacity to dream about doing that goal, right? And then all the steps in between become your framework, right? They become the framework that you use to solve it. The nice thing about the story inventory is it connects all the pieces so that you actually start to think, like you start to see patterns in the way that you solved problems. So for me, I use this pattern of building blogs, podcasts. Like so many of you are subscribers to my content, and you've seen me build these channels. And so as I started building them, I realized, wow, I should show other people how to do this because it's not super hard, but it exponentially grew the visibility I had when recruiters, business owners, clients to my social marketing agency, it grew my exposure to them so that they could see what I thought, how I thought, the practices that I use, the way that my humility, my, you know, um, expertise, all of that became very easy for someone to understand about me just by going through my different content channels. So that's kind of what I did here. So this is meant to be, you'll see it's a book, right? So each one of these I consider a chapter. But guess what? Now, in order to write a book today, I often suggest to my clients that if you want to write an ebook, it should be somewhere between 60 and 80 pages, 120 max, because most of us like to just be able to, and it's highly dependent on the result you are offering. And this is for nonfiction. So if I'm offering a result of like, hey, by the end of this, you are going to have a website, a podcast, and a video channel, then I only need to have as many pages as needed to describe exactly that result and get you exactly that result. So what you see here is me breaking down all the pieces I think you need to know in order to build your brand. And then each one of these is kind of like a little blog post. So you can even think about this as blog posts. They can be blog posts, and then you can collect all these blog posts into a book, which is done all the time by lots and lots of different people. Another thing you could do is YouTube videos, right? Each one of these things. What are affirmations, vision boards, morning routines, right? How to identify what you're good at, the importance of loving what you do, what is authentic branding, why it's important to be a charismatic leader, what's important about the 4 minute mile, right? Each one of these are about 500 words. 500 words is about 5 minutes in conversation, give or take. I haven't timed myself recently, give or take. Someone like me who talks a little bit fast, maybe I'd get a few more words out. But you have a conversation and you can either speak, speak and have it transcribed, or you can write it. It's up to you. But the important thing is the framework, right? The 3 things you did to get a job, the 3 things you wish you didn't do in an interview, the 7 things that you learned, or the 5 tools that you used, the 33, blogs that you read or wish you had read, right? These are all just different ways of creating a framework for your users, followers, audience to follow along with the journey that you have. This is, oh, great. Oh, interesting, Kim. That's weird. I don't know why that would happen. You can't see my screen? Oh my gosh. That's so funny. Okay, wait, I have to do something. Look at that. Isn't that amazing? Can you see my screen now? Oh my gosh. Okay, hold on. Can you see it now? I think you can. Oh my gosh. Okay. Um, all right, cool. Thank you. Thank you. Ambarish, appreciate your comment. So this is workflowy. I just roll with it. I do the very best I can. Sorry for somebody actually on a live training I was on today did exactly the same thing. Switched, talked for 5 minutes before checking back with their audience, and then found out that they weren't actually sharing their screen. So that's so unfortunate. Funny that I should fall victim to the same circumstance. So this is workflowy. And as I was mentioning, just to give you a view, these are all the books that I'm thinking about writing or that I'm working on. And then, you expand it out and I can dive into all the details that I want to dive into. This is actually, each one of these is a different book, right? And so I can go as deep as I want. I can go in and add, oops, I clicked on the wrong thing. I can add notes, which might even be the entire blog post. So I can do my entire plan here if I choose to. So it's just kind of a cool tool. It's free. I think there's a premium option. I'm not an affiliate or in any way affiliated with Workflowy. It's just a tool I love and I use every day. So I thought I would share that with you. Okay, cool. Awesome. Great. Awesome. I get to like be in Inception where I can see myself and definitely. Okay, let me stop. Okay, so Workflowy, great tool. Take a look at it. Now, I'm going to go and show you lovefluencers.com, which is the website that I built. Some of you have seen it before. One philosophy I want to share with you is a confused mind says no. So if you are trying to build a business, trying to get new clients, trying to have people come to your site and do something, I encourage you to have one thing and one thing only you want them to do. Find out what is the most important thing you want them to do, and it might not be buy, right? In my case, it isn't. But what's one thing, and let that be the only option that they have on the page. And that is the case when you come to LoveFluencers. It says join our community today. Most of you watching are actually from my community. And you'll see there's a join us page, but it goes to the exact same place. And when you scroll down, you'll see all the different areas and hear it again. But every call to action, every click on the site, other than to go to a different page, sends you to this activity, which is the only thing I want you to do is join my list, get my emails, and join my Facebook group, which comes at the end of those emails. Now, what I want to talk to you about is the blog. So building a blog, a lot of these platforms, I am using GoDaddy. I like it because it's automated. It's basically no code, a no code web development environment. I do have some code in it. So I don't like the no code solutions that are all buttons, bells, whistles, and levers, and you don't actually get to see or manipulate the code. I like it where they use no code to help you set things up quickly, but then if I want to go in and hack something, I can, and GoDaddy lets me do that. So you can see here, there are, in this case, I only have one blog post right now, but I have a bunch in the making, and I'll show you what that is. This is 5 things Lovefluencers do before breakfast. The beauty of list posts, 5 things, 77 ideas, right? Like 12 blogs, 22 bloggers, like all these list type posts, is that the human mind loves lists, loves them. Like we actually get a dopamine fix through the acquisition of new knowledge. So imagine what happens, right? When you tell someone, hey, I'm going to give you 33 pieces of new information, their brain's like, oh, I want that, right? It's a mechanism that we can use to give people what they want, which is more information and provide value, right? So your blogs or your content, think about those things. And this is true. This is the cool part. This is true whether you're writing a blog post or an ebook, right? You could write an ebook on the 33, ways to learn more about AI, or the 12 Black women in AI I most admire, or whatever. It could be either a blog series, it can be a podcast series, right? Each one of the items, the numbers. It could be a video series on YouTube, a TikTok series. Like, all you need though is that idea that you hang it on. And so often I want to share with you another thing. I hope you can still see my screen. Let me go back, make sure. There all you are, so you can kind of see the aggregation of comments. So that's kind of cool. Oh yeah, that was your old one. Okay, so that's so neat. I can show your comments on the screen. Oh my gosh, I'm like learning as we go. So one thing I wanted to show you though was a couple of books that I absolutely adore and think you might want to read. And I'll include, so please don't multi-factor authenticate me. Dang it. Okay, hold on. Let me just multi-factor my way into this. Won't be long, I promise. There we go. There it is. Okay. Oh my gosh. All right. I'm going to say, don't. Okay. Slide in. There we go. We're in. So I'm going to go to my library. Don't judge me about any of these books. I collect books of all kinds all the time, but you will see there's a couple books in here that are really amazing. Let's see if I can find any of them. I don't know what I just clicked on. Oh no, let me in. Okay. So let's see. I'm going to type into the search blogs. There it is. This is one of my favorite books, little known book by Raza Imam. Um, and I'm just going to go to the table or to the beginning so you can see it. But the interesting thing about this book is it actually shows you some pretty cool tools. I'm going to try and find the table of contents if I can. Here we go. So I'll just let this sit here. But it shows you some techniques that I found to be extremely successful. So I've tested this now on dozens of blogs and they work beautifully. So there is a TLDR, a little cheat sheet that you can follow at the beginning of the book, but I encourage you to read through it. So the title's right here, Six-Figure Blogging Blueprint. It's less about the money and more about what are meaningful, engaging ways to communicate with your audience. So you'll see here it says content strategy. So I'm going to click on it. And the thing I also love about Kindle is it'll tell you what other people highlighted. So for someone like me who doesn't necessarily highlight too often in electronic format, I love highlighting in paperback books. But since I don't do it in electronic format, it's kind of nice because it's a cheat sheet. I could just be like, well, show me what everybody else highlighted. Yeah, I'd highlight that too. That's good. But here is what I wanted to show you, right? These are shown result driven to drive, and I've seen this repeated over and over across genre after genre. Top 30 most influential people in X, right? If your domain is AI, right? In AI, or in AI and ethics, or in democratized AI, or in my world, in mindful leadership, in I don't know, executive presentations, whatever your specialty is, right? So, top 30 most influential people in X. Here is my plea to you. If you create a top 30 people or top list of individuals, please make that list diverse. Make sure that it represents a symphony of people, not just gender, not just color or ethnicity, but a symphony. People with different abilities, different backgrounds, different socioeconomic conditions. Like, try to really elaborate. Like, that's something, that's what makes LOVEfluencers. We take the time to not just go and grab, right, the first 50 people that will show up, because that demographic might not represent our audience. So take the time to create a symphony of people for your influential lists. Another one, 10 reasons why it rocks to be a whatever role you have, if that's something that you want to promote. 10 reasons why it stinks or sucks to be a blah, blah, blah. 10 Christmas gifts, a great idea for us now going into the holiday season, right? 10 Christmas gifts for your favorite blogger, AI enthusiast, futurist, right? Whatever. I mean, a lot of these are meant to be fun. You could also use Amazon affiliate links in your blog and say, like, here's the 10 gifts. And if people buy through your blog, you get paid. Not a lot, mind you, but it's something. And it's a way to start monetizing your brand. Back. All right, I didn't go through all of them, but just to give you some more, 20 bloggers to follow, top 20 young professionals, top 20 who make the most money, 20 websites you visit if you want to be better at X, right? The top 20 blog posts of 2020. You get the idea. These are the types of content that people gravitate toward, because that dopamine and serotonin kick that happens when they get to acquire more knowledge is increased when you create these list posts. So definitely something worth thinking about. I'm going to see if I think I do. Yes. So these are all the things that I ended up highlighting that I wanted to share with you also. So in creating content, I just created, like I just showed you this. Oh, here's a few more. Let's see. I think I can click on this. Oh, yes. So when you're creating content, you do want to make sure that your content has some engaging picture, video. There are a couple different sites that you can use for commercial free video. Of course, there's Creative Commons, but there's also Pixabay and Unsplash. Google has its own set of, they're just not as good about protecting the copyright. Like they basically say, hey, you're on your own from a copyright perspective, where Pixabay and Unsplash are a little bit more deliberate in their release of rights and just ask for attribution. So definitely take a look at that. So I just gave you a list of blog posts. I actually have written in the LOVEfluencers group. I wrote a post on taking some of these titles. I think I said like 5 titles to start with. I'd encourage you to write 5 blog posts, set a goal, write 5 blog posts. Those, again, could be a blog post, could be a podcast, could be a video, but build 5 pieces of content based on this. And then just over maybe 2 weeks, post those 5, one every other day, and just watch your traffic. Watch your organic traffic of who's going to happen to stumble upon your content because you're writing in this new way. And I think you'll be surprised how it turns out. Okay, the last thing I wanted to talk to you about, I'm going to just go back to my notes here because I wanted to show you something. I don't know if I'm going to be able to find it, but I'm going to try. Oh yeah. Oops. So the last thing I wanted to talk to you about was what's actually in a post. And so again, this book was really nice. It basically provided a synopsis of what I do all the time and that has worked for me. And I was like, this is great, which made me realize I should just write a book. But here are the main components of any given piece of content that you build. And this is true whether you're writing a blog, doing a podcast, or building a video. You need an awesome headline. I recommend a headline generation tool. You can just Google it. It's not horrible, this tool. It's not fantastic. But if you Google headline generator, you can go here and you literally can type in, your keywords. I don't even know. Let's say like mindful leadership. Oh my gosh, I should spell it right. Maybe I'll say how. Oh no, I'll just say mindful leadership. Let's see what it says. 700 headlines. All right. Oh yeah, that looks good. Okay. Oh gosh, no, cancel. So I could see. Oh, all right. I guess I don't really want to do that. So I'm just gonna see, right? 10 tips 10 tips about mindful leadership. Can you pass the mindful leadership test? Learn exactly how I improved my mindful leadership in 2 days. Right? This gives you, that was free. Obviously not super free because they would like me to also get notifications, and I'm not a super big fan of doing that. So I'm not going to do it. But that might be worth the cost, right? You don't pay for it, but you let them send you notifications. Might be worth the cost for free title generation. And that was just the first one I clicked on. There's quite a few. But the nice thing about this, I feel like there was one around here that I used before. Anyway, I don't see it. But I actually use a tool called Funnel Scripts, and I'll put the link in the notes. But Funnel Scripts is a tool that actually allows you to go in and you could use all of these really cool like templates, basically. So if you want to create bullets, for example, you go in, it asks you a bunch of questions, right? You fill out these questions. I'm going to just fill them with a book writing and publishing. This is just a sample so you can see what it looks like. So I fill in all the questions and then you just hit build and it generates for you, right, a bunch of bullet points, like you would use in your ad copy. And there are tons of samples like this, right? Titles, headlines, and subjects. So if I expand that out and I go to killer headlines, same thing happens. I go in, I simply pick one, let's say ebook author coaching. I fill in, if I was the person, I'd fill in all these. And I do this with my clients. I will walk them through the use of this tool. I'll ask them all these questions, and then I will magically hit the build button. It's not magic. And it will generate for them hot, meaning traffic they already know, warm traffic that barely knows them, and cold traffic that doesn't know them at all. Different titles, right? Discover how ebook authors, blah, 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 blah. Check out how to create passive income. 3 signs you're failing as an author, right? So these are data driven, proven ways to capture attention in a headline. And I just feel like sometimes I spend way too much stuff on this. So it was worth it to me to just invest in a tool that would help me get there faster so I didn't struggle with the blank page. I'm not asking you to invest in anything. I'm just letting you know the path that I took. All right, cool. Can we make the screen bigger? Oh, I think we can. Hold on. Oh, sorry, Kim. Okay. So, um, can you hear me now? I hope you can hear me. All right. I think you can hear me. We cannot hear you. All right. Well, I hope you can hear me now. Hello. Hello. Oh, I see. Oh, there it is. Oh, I see the problem. Okay, it should be good now. I can see my audio is on. So I don't see anybody saying they can't hear me. Anyway, I'll go back and watch this and probably have to edit all of these little me getting distracted. Okay, you can hear me now. Great, Ramona. Thank you. I'm still working on the screen share. So maybe when I did something with screen sharing, I turned off my mic, active mic. I don't know. Let's just see how it goes. So moral of the story, I started off today talking all about how important it is to have the right mindset, right? And know that your story is extremely important, but not just important, it's super helpful for the person who's one chapter behind you in the book, or one job behind you in the career journey, or, like one kid behind you in the family. So, as you remember, I think the first thing I had mentioned was building your story inventory. So, I'd start that today. Start your story inventory. The second thing we talked about was content ideas. So I will now post into um, right here, somewhere in here. Yes, I will post a link that will show up. I don't know where it's going to show up. So I'm going to put it in LinkedIn. So if you want to find these two links, just head on over to LinkedIn. But oh, there we go. But it's just like, I think it was called Six Figure Blogging Group Blueprint. I'll put that title in. I could just type it in. Six Figure Blogging. You can just Google it, but I'll also put the link in for those of you who want to use my nice little Amazon affiliate link. Blogging Blueprint. Um, and again, it's not amazing, fantastic resource, but it very succinctly identifies where you should start, which is, here's what every blog post should have, and here are 10 blog posts to start with. If you get nothing else from that book, that is gold. And then the final thing I just showed you or talked to you about was the benefit of using tools and copywriting tools specifically. So I use a tool called Funnel Scripts. I'll place the link in the show notes, but it doesn't have to be Funnel Scripts. It can be anything. You can go out and use one of the free ones that's going to ask you for your email as currency. But just don't start with a blank page, or don't stay on a blank page too long. Content should flow. And we get writer's block sometimes, or we can't think of what to write. Here is a technique that I use that I borrowed from a book called The Artist's Way. And every morning I do a bunch of stuff. I have a very pretty detailed morning routine, but I'm only going to share a couple pieces of it with you. The first thing I do, maybe three, is of course I start my day with gratitude. I actually do this like heart meditation, and like my heart being grateful for what it's doing for my body, grateful for the emotions that I have for my family, grateful for blah blah blah, on and on and on. So I start my day with gratitude. The second thing I do though is I get up and I get my journal and I write down my three goals. So prior to that, I had to decide on a personal goal, a financial goal, and a professional goal. And I write those three goals down every single day. I also have them written in whiteboard marker on my mirror, and I also have them written in whiteboard marker on my fridge. So it's constant reminder. One of my personal goals is health and wellness. I want to be healthier. So every time I see, every day in the morning, I'm committing to these goals by writing them. So when I see the bowl full of Halloween candy, I'm slightly less interested in eating it because I'm committing in my mind. Like, no, I don't want to do that. That's not who I want to be. And so these goals help you get there. So writing down your three goals every single day. Um, and then after I write down my goals, I spend at least a little bit of time really try. I actually, like I said, this is a long routine. I have 6 or 7 steps. The last one I wanted to share with you was, after writing my three goals, I try to consume some piece of educational material that will move me in the direction of my goals. Oftentimes it's like sales training or nonfiction training, like Napoleon Hill or the Bible. So you choose, but like I feed myself spiritually, mentally, mindset wise, so that as I go into my day to try and do all the things that I want to do, which is pretty ambitious if you knew my list, I feel empowered. So find, and I think right now, especially in the world that we're in the pandemic and in this time of uncertainty, starting your day, identifying what you want, and then doing something, reading or listening to something empowering, is a really great way to start. So those are my suggestions. I hope you enjoyed this week. Boy, it was a long one. I'm so sorry. I had my podcast went long, so I didn't start till late. Anyway, and we had some technical difficulties. You hung in there like troopers, so thank you so much. I have people on all 4 platforms chiming in right now, so that's pretty cool. This is the first time I've used Restream.io, but it seemed to work okay. I'll work out the kinks for next week. And speaking of next week, I will be talking all about how to basically, I'm going back to the tools. So, how to build a website, an email list, and your first sales funnel if you are in that point in your journey as somebody trying to build a brand for yourself. So it'll be a lot more screen sharing, and I definitely have figured that out. So that's good. A little bit more screen sharing next week. But we'll talk about the tools to actually build an asset that you can either sell or make available to help build your email list, which is the most valuable asset you have as a authentic personal brand. So thanks so much for joining in. You know I love you guys. Thank you so much, and I will talk to you all later. You guys are amazing. Bye. Thanks, Ramona. All right. Bye, everybody. See how I finish this thing. Okay, bye.